Good morning, everybody. I am really delighted to welcome you to this very important discussion on the future of religion and diplomacy. And I want to thank the Newseum and Charles Haynes, the director of the Religious Freedom Center, for hosting this event. I'm particularly grateful to former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright. Her purpose and passion in ending the bloodshed and brutality in Kosovo and Bosnia, and in working to heal the old wounds in Northern Ireland to this day, epitomizes moral leadership. And it's safe to say that her far-sighted vision on issues of religion and global affairs is a big reason why we now have an office in the State Department bearing that name. Religion, in all of its aspects, is more relevant than ever to American foreign policy. Just run the list. The role of faith-based groups in supporting debt relief and the Millennium Development Goals, in raising alarms about famine and genocide, in promoting human rights and building peace, and in employing religious principles to call for action on climate change. At the same time, of course, there are extremists who are twisting and betraying religion in order to justify brutal violence, always disrupting the lives of millions and creating suffering in many places across the globe. And on matters as diverse as how to drive economic growth, rein in corruption, promote public health, religion is an important consideration for citizens and policymakers everywhere. So what's the bottom line? Pretty simple. Religion matters. I often say that if I were to go back to college these days, I'd major in comparative religion. Why? Because in every country, in every region of the world, on nearly every issue central to U.S. foreign policy, religious institutions and actors are among the drivers of change. They're changing the way people think or affecting the way people think. They are an organizing principle, and they are always, in one way or another, except when they get distorted, a moral source of suasion to people. And with 84% of people worldwide identifying with a religious group, there's simply no denying that religion remains a powerful force in global politics and civil society, one that we ignore at our peril. That's why just this week I issued policy guidance to the State Department and all of our missions abroad, instructing our diplomats to engage with religious actors and carefully assess religious dynamics wherever and whenever it is relevant to our foreign policy. Now, we're not trying to start a political movement. We don't want to do that, obviously. What we want to do is listen and understand, but at least be in touch with and be able to interpret the currents that come out of one religion or another in any particular place. It's also the reason why I established a new Office of Religion and Global Affairs, selecting one of our country's leading thinkers on religion and public life, Dr. Sean Casey, as the first special representative. The mission of this new office is as clear as it is compelling: to engage more closely with faith communities around the world, because we need to partner with them to solve global challenges. The office is growing our ability to reach communities and to create greater understanding between peoples and countries. It's partnering with faith-based organizations working to mitigate global climate change. It's promoting religious pluralism and tolerance, and strengthening the ability of our embassies to interact effectively with religious actors. Now, engagement is a two-way street. Our job at the State Department isn't just to proclaim or pontificate about the things that we want. If there's one thing that I've heard and learned in this job, it's that the best way to build buy-in for reforms and change is an approach that listens first. And the Office of Religious and Global Affairs will be at the center of our effort to listen to voices from faith communities across the globe. As Secretary of State, I have met with many religious leaders, and that experience has only reaffirmed my belief that there is much more that unites us and should unite us than divides us. Somehow, some way, we have to strive for a global ethic that allows each of our religious faiths to express themselves fully, but also allows us to unite around the universal values of decency, civility, knowledge, reason, tolerance, and understanding. That's our charge, and for the sake of our children and grandchildren, it is a charge we must keep. Thank you.